G'day guys, how you going? Welcome to another one of Holmeseys adventure riding camp cooking. So what are we going to do today? We're at the old Rancho in Heathcote. I've brought you here before. This is my property I come to sometimes. Jess and I are going to go out for a little ride today. I'm going to take the Honda, so I probably shouldn't be wearing this top, but anyway, don't hold that against me. We do have a KTM with us today, so maybe I'll just ride that one, eh? So we're going to go out and cut a few tracks and go up the Costerfield Hills and take a little bit of footage there. Try not to bore you too much. And then later on this evening, late this afternoon, we might have a couple of beers. And we're going to cook up a bit of a camp cook. Hence why it's called Holmeseys Camp Cooking. What are we going to do for you? We are going to do some cheesy fries. And we are also going to do some pork barbecue ribs with a classic red. And I'll talk to you about that later on. But anyway, I'm going to let you go now and we're going to get on the track. So I'll see you soon. Rightio guys, as I said, we're in Costerfield right now. I'm going to go for a ride on some of those hills up there. Get a bit of footage going up and down, that sort of thing, on the old Honda today. Haven't had a run on it for a while. Unfortunately, I've noticed that I'm going to be kick-starting it today because the battery's flat. Young Jesse's ready to rock and roll. Hit the starter. Starter up. He doesn't have a Kickstarter, so he'd be right up shit creek. So anyway, I'll see you out on the track. There you go, folks. That's fun. This is the Australian bush for all you international guests if you're watching.
Might climb the full thing.
Sorry?
Might climb the full thing now.
Rightio, I'll be waiting. Jesse's just alluded to he's going down. And he's going to actually, this is only the halfway mark. It actually goes all the way up there. So what we'll do is we'll go for a bit of a walk. Get up a bit higher. It gets really, really rocky up the top here. So, but it's been raining and the ground's really grippy. Like it's kind of semi-dry now. Anyway, here he comes. Right up there. So it gets real rocky, but he's done well. Good lad. And back down we come. Sometimes it's more difficult coming down than it is going up. All right?
Yeah.
Let's go. Guess who that is?
What? Oh, Will.
Will Smith.
What's going on?
That's how it's done. That is the one rocky son of a bitch. There we have it, guys, the Costerfield Hills. Back again, just having a bit of a rest. Now into the little esky I've got going in the car. Anyway, it's funny what happens when you're out here. I'm riding around with Jesse, my youngest son. I come across another motorbike. You're gonna see on the footage when I download it, and it ends up being Will, my other son's best mate. So there you go, small world. Oh man, that is good. Well, as I said to you before at the start, we're not just going to make this a ride video. We're going to actually go back to Heathcote, which is my little hobby farm there, and bugs. And I'll light a big fire, get some coals going. I've got 2 cast iron pots. One I want to do pork ribs in, and the other pot I'm going to chop up some potatoes, deep fry them, and I'm going to do like a cheesy fries mix thing. I'll show you when I do it. Haven't done it on the fire before, so we'll see if I muck it up or burn it. Hopefully not. So rib and cheesy fries tonight. That's the intention anyway. That is very nice. A little bit of Jack Daniels or Jim Beam in there, probably be a bit better. Will and Jess have just gone off for a ride. I don't know where they are at the back there. I'll have a bit of a rest. But as you can see, I'll grab the camera. It's actually quite peaceful and a very nice little area. We've been coming out here for some years now. We don't sort of get any interruption from the local police or parks rangers. They kind of leave us alone out here, and usually come out here for 2-3 hours at a time, have a bit of a ride, get it out of the system, and then go back to the little farm and have some cold ones. But I must admit, I've jumped on the old CRF 450 today, and I haven't been on it for a long time because, as you would know from my previous videos that I've made, I ended up buying a KTM 690 because I want to do a bit more road and off-road stuff. Something it needs something fully registered for. But I tell you, this piece of machinery here is just an absolute gem for going up hills and riding around this sort of terrain. Just soaks up the bumps. It's just such an easy bike to ride, this thing. I don't think I could ever get rid of it. It's just perfect for this type of terrain. But anyway, that's enough of my bullshit. I'll leave you with the trees and I'll talk to you again later. Rightio guys, back at HQ, and that is Heathcote HQ. Back at the little farm. Jesse's still riding his bike a bit. So, I thought I'd just take yous around. You can have a little bit of a look at some of my shit. This is where I come and have a bit of a play. That's my little general store that I'm working on. Run out of petrol. Get some here. On the top of the petrol bowser, as I said, we're going to do some nice pork marinated ribs. We'll cut them in half. They're still a little bit hard. They're just defrosting up there. I've just lit a fire. Going to try and get some nice red hot coals, and the plan is what we're going to do is nice and clean. We're going to shove the ribs in there, splash them with a bit of classic red. I'll explain that later. And I reckon they might take probably a couple of hours, at least an hour and a half I would think, but we can check that. And then we're going to do some chips in the little one, but then I'm going to make them into cheesy fries, so I'll explain all that later. So while I'm waiting for the coals to get nice and red so I can put those ribs on, animals are just having a bit of a rest in the shade. This big bugger here, it's having a little bit of feed. What are you looking at? Hey? Yeah, you're on film. Very curious, that one. Anyway, it is a ripper of a day here at Heathcote. Couldn't have asked for it. No wind, sunshine, get around in a t-shirt. It's all good. Anyway, I'm going to go and grab myself a beer, watch this fire, and when it's hot enough to put dinner on, I'm going to get yous back and I'm going to talk a bit of bullshit to yous. So until then, catch you shortly. I reckon that was as good as the last one. That's why I'm reloading. Oh, you're back with me. You want to know what I'm up to? Oh, okay. Well, we're going to put the bloody ribs on. Let's go. So, got me pot ready. I think the fire's got enough coals. So come on over. What we've got here is our cast iron pot. I've just built this little trivet out of an old cake tin tray sort of thing, because I couldn't buy one at the time, but they actually are making them now. So that's all nice and clean in there. I'll look after me pots. Okay, what we're doing is pork barbecue ribs. Now these have already been marinated, so I'm cheating a bit tonight, so they're going to go in there like that. I've already cut the bags so I can get in there and get them out fairly easy. So we'll just whack those in there like that. Those at the side. I'm actually glad I brought both packs, because there's not that much on them. A few more ales, we'll get the old munchies. Oh, that's already falling apart. Now I'm not expecting these probably to take any more than an hour, because these are ones that are pre-done from the shop. And I don't know if they already cook them a little bit or whatever. I have done them before, but not in the camp oven. So we'll just whack them off to the side there. We're in a hurry. So they go in there like that. But now we've got to add the classic red. And I know you're all thinking that I'm probably going to drag out a bottle of red wine, but I'm not. I'm going to use classic red. It says so on the label. So what this is barbecue pork ribs cooked in Coca-Cola. We just whack that in there. Take the whole bottle. It's a pretty big pot. Alright, have a look at that. It looks alright, doesn't it? That's just actually worked out perfect. Now I might have to drain some of that off later, but basically what the idea is, we want that to cook in those juices and get real soft and sticky and gooey. So we'll whack the lid on, go over the fire. Right, you stay there, I'll grab the shovel. Knock a couple of these big bits out the way. Build our fire back up again over the other side. What I really want to do is get all that good stuff there. Park it over to the side. Coming around the back. Now I'm a bit disappointed I forgot me hooky thing, so I'm going to have to run with a tea towel or something later, which wasn't a really good idea, because last night I was playing around with the Ozpig and I grabbed it and burnt 2 fingers, so that was smart, wasn't it? We'll whack that on there. As you can see, I've desecrated my fire, but there's enough to burn there. But we'll just bring this big log back in. Around the other side. Love the smoke. We'll get that there. Bit of red gum on there. We'll build him back up. We might even shovel a bit there. So basically, we'll just keep an eye on that. I haven't done it before like that. I've done them in the oven, in my pizza oven, but not in the pot. So hopefully we'll start bubbling away and we'll get that right. And we'll come back to you later on because we've got to do chips and stuff yet. So get the shovel out of my way. Cheers. And I'll get you back when we do the chips. See you later. Welcome back, guys. I've just done a check on the ribs. I'm pretty happy with them. So if you have a look over near the fire, I've actually just put them off to the side now, and I've just put a few coals on top. They really don't need a lot more cooking, so I'm kind of just keeping those warm. Now for the next part, we want chips. I'm going to do cheesy fries, but I've been watching a few shows on the old YouTube lately, and I've been watching Harry on Fire to Fork, and he tells me when you're doing chips outdoors, we're going to do a little bit different. I'm going to take up what he said on one of his segments and try it. And I've cut up some chips, not about the size that you would get out your roast chicken joint. I cut those up before. You didn't need to see me cut up a spud. If you've never cut up a spud before, you need to take a good hard look at yourselves. So what we want to do is, they've been just in water, getting the starch and that out of them. This is a clean tea towel that the wife has just washed for me. So what we want to do now is just really give them a bit of a good dry off and let some of that with the tea towel absorb some of that moisture, and then we're going to pour it into that pot there and put them on the fire. So they feel pretty good. We whack those in there like so. Yeah, and you can have a look at the tea towel. The amount of water that's come out of those, you don't want that in your oil. Spread them out. And I'm just going to fill this up with some rice bran oil, but not to the top obviously because it's going into the fire, and once it reaches temperature we don't want it to sort of overflow and go in the fire, because when we've got other problems on our hands. Yep, get them up there like so. I reckon that's pretty good. Once that gets hot, that will raise. So we'll get some nice hot coals out. We've reloaded. Beautiful. Go and get our chips. And the idea is we'll get these all fried up, get them nice and crunchy, and then we'll do the next thing to them. Spewing, I missed me little hooky thing, but can't have it all your own way. So we've got to get those hot. They're fine. We need that to get really hot. So once the chips are done, I'll get you back and I'll show you what I'm going to do with those chips, and then me and the little fella can have a feed. Catch you. Welcome back. I think we're just about there, guys. I'll put on me little glove because I was silly and I forgot my hook. What I'm going to do now is, those ribs are really good. I'm pretty happy with those. I'm going to get this off the flame. And we're going to come over to the bench and we're going to transfer them. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So we've got a bit of light here, so that's a good thing. Have a look at those. I'll leave my glove on in case I splash myself. Now normally I'd have put this on paper towel and all that sort of thing, but I haven't got any. I haven't got any, guys. So we're just going to run with what we got. Now, this is the stack. We're going to do a few little ingredients here. So we're going to go down that road. Grab a chicken salt. I intend to like that one. You get it at Coles. And don't be soft. Go in a bit hard. We're not eating here for health reasons or anything. We're eating here for enjoyment, for camping. Right. So there's a couple of other components we want to do here. So what I did was earlier on, I actually cooked a bit of bacon up, but I didn't cook it like really crispy crisp because it's got to go back in there. So these are my loaded fries, cheesy fries. So we whack that in there like so. Lots of bacon. Bit of spring onion. Whack that in there. Make it real tasty. And you've got to have cheese. This is what it's about, cheesy fries. This is just a tasty cheese. Coon, use whatever you want. And you can use mozzarella and all that if you wanted to, and 3 cheese ones. It's whatever you like. But this dish, don't be frightened. Load it up. So I'll just transfer these over. These little foil trays here, I got that from a camp shop that are actually made for this particular iron pot. Now, it'd be good if I had 2 of these tonight, but I don't. So I'm going to get rid of this oil. I'm going to tip it over there, and yeah, I'm going to get all the people saying you shouldn't put oil in the ground and all that, but it's rice oil, it's biodegradable, it's plant-based. It's not going to hurt anyone in years to come. So what I need to do is get them on there like so. Even those hot chips there are going to melt some of this stuff. The rest of the bacon on top. Spread it out around the edges. I want the rest of this spring onion on. Another shot of chicken salt. Go hard with it. And I'll eat more cheese. I'll tell you what, Jess, I think we're going to be fighting to get through this. But we'll have a go, eh? Right. Now, the secret to this one is, you just don't stop there. You have to have a bit of cream on it. Otherwise, it's just too dry. You don't need a lot, or not so a lot, you don't need the whole thing in there, but just like that. Spread it around. So on a dish like that, I'd probably used quarter. Around a quarter of that. So otherwise it just gets too soft. So anyway, I'll do my duties here. I should actually use my other hand to do that. I'll get rid of this oil because I need to put that tray back in here and back in the fire with some coals to get it all melted. So let me do this and I'll get back to you. All done, all good. So now we grab that and you'll see that fits in there. Absolutely lovely, and you don't spray yourself with a bit of oil when you do that. So, lid. Now we don't really need a lot of heat on the bottom of this we kind of only want the heat on top because the chips are already cooked. So what we're going to do is here, I'll go and get me trusty shovel, and I'm going to make a little spot kind of out of the heat. I'll put a little bit over there. We don't want much. I want some of these coals because they've got to go on top, and that's what's got to melt the cheese. So we've done that. Put that there like so. Grab some nice shovel of coals. Right, I reckon 7 to 10 minutes, it's a good number, 7 to 10 minutes, and that cheese will be nicely melted. We'll get all this stuff out, I'll plate up, and we'll have a feed. See you shortly. Rightio, just pull the pots out, put another log on, desecrated my fire. So come on over, we've got our ribs here and we've got our cheesy fries. So we'll whack that off. Oh, have a look at that. Got to be pleased with that. So what I would normally do is get them down the side there, down there, boom. We're laughing there. Get rid of this lid. Don't require him anymore. And this is our, have a look at that. Look at that, it's just fallen off the bone. You don't even need a knife. These are falling to bits just as I pull them out. Now that is just so soft. Beautiful. Very happy with these. Look at that. There's a bone. Because the meat's just... that was 2 racks. I was only going to bring 1 because I was thinking it might be too much, but I'm glad I did now. So, what we basically do is take off the Darth Vader glove. This is still going to be hot. It's only Jessie and I tonight. So we'll place that there. And have a bit of a taste. What do you reckon? Now it's going to be hot. Classic red for Jess. I'll have me normal favourite, Carlton Dry. Yeah, that's all good, that's all good. Have a look, fire's going again, we're all happy. You can do this when you're with family, and we're just gonna, I'll have a bit of a go. Keep the chicken salt close by. Now, this is something we want to try. You're going to wish you were here. That is terrific, and they're not even really hot. That is spot on. I couldn't have done it better. You got no idea. I'm sorry for you guys that are on the other end there, because you do not know what you're missing out on. All done on the campfire. Takes a little bit longer, but hey, we've got time. We're going to have a few more beers, sit around the fire, enjoy our meal. I look forward to catching up with you next time. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here today, feel free to give us a like, comments, subscribe, whatever, and I'll keep going. But this, I'd have to say, is right up there with one of my best. So, from Mark Holmes, Holmeseys at Bike Adventures and Cooking, I'll catch you next time. Cheers.